do, let's get straight into draft.
Absolutely, and I mean, GAM already pulled off one huge upset today. If they can pull off another here against DRX, then Top are still in it with a chance. But they do need some help from GAM.
Yeah, they're gonna need some help. Let's go ahead, jump in, see what this draft looks like. That last one was a little wild, so let's see how things shake out in this. We've got Set, Sejuani, Azir, Caitlyn, all banned away. Some pretty standard stuff here with the Azir, Caitlyn, and Sejuani bans. Set's been getting a few plays, though, recently.
Yeah, Set feels more targeted towards Katie, who has been playing that. You know, this is more of a GAM special, less the meta, and more targeting the player himself. But we do have all of the big tanks still up and available, you know, for now when you're thinking about the Maokais, the Orns, things like that have been actually very, very popular.
I'm also thinking about this Karthus pick. Earlier on in the day, we did see actually Rogue removing it in the second phase of bans, trying to limit the impact that Levi can have on his champions. The question is, what direction will they choose to go with it? Interesting that DRX choose to ban away the Yuumi on the blue side. Typically, that is left up on blue, but this is DRX saying, you know what? In the event that you choose not to ban a GAM, we don't want to play it. There's actually other priorities that we have our eyes on. The question is, what will those priorities be?
And when we talk about highly prioritized champions, Maokai has been one of those here at the World Championship thus far, but he is the final ban of the first phase here for GAM, and that means Aatrox is open, Aatrox is locked, and Fiora will answer the challenge right next to a Kalista.
Yeah, very quick answer here for Kiaya, but the question is, can he actually stand up, you know, to the laning here from Kangen? Because we've seen Fiora come out a lot. It has not been very successful unless it is the very top laners in the tournament that are actually playing it.
Oh my word, are they going to do it again? We already saw their answer to the Kalista last game. I think the Ashe is incredibly potent, and we know that they're happy to blind pick it. DRX just being given the same formula as before. And we will see once again, Ashe Heimerdinger in the bot lane.
All right, well, this time we're not going to get a support Nasus because that was useless last game.
Ooh, but the Syndra, she can take the turret and put it somewhere else.
True.
True.
Counterpoint, it's going mid lane.
She's like the master.
But I like where your head is at.
Yeah. I got the strategies planned out here. But we will get the Syndra there for the side of GAM into the second half of the bans. Akali coming out as that first ban. If Syndra's in the mid lane, she does not want Akali jumping on top of her, constantly posing that threat. I like this ban coming up from GAM.
I wonder if GAM will also look to remove the Sylas when we saw that win percentage graphic. And when you think about Zeka's most comfortable champions, melee, AP, individual agency is really the name of the game for this man in the mid lane. So taking both Akali and the Syndra away, even if you don't consider Sylas to necessarily be the strongest matchup, it may be something that you just want to remove. As I'm saying that, the LeBlanc now taken off, another AP mid laner that does give you a lot of agency in terms of the 1v1. So GAM tailoring KT and really setting him up for success.
Meanwhile, DRX will target the jungle. Lee Sin and Graves banned away from these guys heading into the second half here. So we see the AD carry, we see the top laner, we see the mid laner. What will pick number 4 be here for GAM? A little bit of time left, making sure they're utilizing the entirety of those precious seconds to think about that one. What's it going to be, fellas? Jarvan locked in.
All right.
Jungle.
Okay.
Interesting to see that they do actually go jungle here. Obviously, they can just grab their support on 5. Support has already been taken for the other team, so maybe they're feeling this is a bit of a contested pick. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zeka go towards something like an Ahri, something a little bit more mid-gamey. It feels like kind of fits this comp. That is something that he did play quite a bit, but he's just straight back towards the Sylas.
Yep, it looks like he's going to stick with comfort. When we look at so far his performance in group stage, it has just been Akali, Sylas. They are his comforts, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vi again. Like, this is very reminiscent of what we saw in the last matchup when they played against Rogue. They could just run back the same comp, of course, with the Sylas, with the Akali being changed out, but no, they will change things up, David.
Oh, that was an instant lock.
Wait,
it's Syndra's
support! The master of home refurbishment will in fact be going down to the bot lane.
Wait, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see before we get too excited about this. But I assume it is going to be Syndra support here. You're right, man. I completely didn't get even a chance. Last pick here of the Anivia.
Oh,
nice.
Who was it? Oh, I was watching a Champions Queue game. I think it was Knight versus someone else that actually showcased the Anivia into Sylas matchup to me, and it is so oppressive for the Sylas. Like, every time you try to approach the wave, it becomes so difficult to actually play that matchup out. But the fact that they decided to pivot that Syndra away, kind of giving them the bait and switch, that false sense of security, and then bringing it down to the bot lane, wow, this is definitely going to catch DRX off guard. The question is, will it be a better answer than the Nazis?
Yeah, I mean,
we would hope.
It's really, well, it's not hard to be better than the Nasus, let's be honest.
It's a low bar.
It's a low bar. It's like, can you limbo under this? Well, the bar is 12 feet high, then. Yes, I can just walk. I don't need to. But my question is just like, are you focusing too much on this interaction of being able to pick up the turrets and throw them, right? Like, is there too much of a focus on this? Because yes, you can fish for picks with Scatter the Weak and whatnot, but you're still gonna get nonstop poked by volley and Heimerdinger rockets, right? Like that is kind of my concern here, is that the poke there, as we see the beautiful 2 alpacas just gracefully laying in the field there. Not sure why that's at a League of Legends event.
Just having a good old time, man. I am so excited for this game now after seeing that switch at the very end of the draft, getting the Anivia here in mid lane, a champion we do not get a lot of in professional play.
You know, I think what we should do now is I should be the play-by-play and you should be the color caster. Now that you've proven your superior knowledge, you knew it was going to be Sinja support. I doubted you, so.
Buddy,
I'll handle the talking fast.
I got some bad news for you. That's still not Skarner. I don't have it. So
there's no butt twist on Syndra?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do not think that dark technology exists.
All right, my bad.
But when I see Anivia, I think of a champion that can make life incredibly difficult for short-ranged opponents. And when you look at the top side of the map for DRX, yeah, it's Viego, it's Aatrox, it's Sylas. I think this could be a really big opportunity to pop off for Katie.
Now, as a reminder, GAM are eliminated. They cannot qualify for the quarterfinals. However, they can still give Top Esports an opportunity to qualify. If they're able to beat DRX here, then there is a world with which Top still have control over their own destiny. But if DRX win, it means that it is the fight between DRX and Rogue for top seed coming out of this group.
Exactly. It's the NA special. You can't make it out of groups, but you can drag somebody down with you.
You can torpedo someone else to make
And Levi did spend some time in NA.
He certainly did.
Yes.
All right. Let's see where things are going to start out here on this one, as runes are coming up on your screen right now. Everything's looking pretty standard here. Electrocute on the Anivia for some of those quick, snappy trades.
Yep, not going to be going for Spellbook or anything like that. It is more of an aggressive option. You can see that Beryl had pre-placed all 3 of his turrets down in bot lane, so that really does guarantee you the push, and they're going to be playing pretty far up here and looking heavily for the poke. So a lot of this bot lane I do think is going to come down to, you know, how much poke can you land on this Syndra? Because Syndra is the one that I think really is going to be pressured to be landing her spells, because she's very squishy, and if you're taking too many of these volleys, too many of those rockets from Heimer, things are going to get rough. But look at Levi clearing down towards bot.
Yeah, it does look like that he has his eyes on a very early level 3. The ward will, well, the turret is actually going to come out from Beryl.
Battle ward.
And Katie also going to drop a deep ward. So they have information on where Pyoshik is. GAM have all the information they need in order to set up a play towards the bot side of the map. I'm going to quickly look at B8 and see what he's taken as his second point. So he does have the Scatter the Weak second.
Okay.
They are setting up for a potential gank here in the bot lane.
But this information here should let them know that he could be around. The fact that he's not doing his blue still, right? You know, they have to be worried about what sort of a path could he actually be doing. You know, where could he be on the map? So you have to be expecting some sort of a gank to come in, and he does now retreat back to that blue, so he will be spotted.
Especially on a champion like Jarvan.
Yeah.
Throughout the history of League of Legends, this is a champion known for having some of those strong, surprising early ganks, and especially up against a team like GAM and a jungler like Levi, you know he's not going to be shy for trying to make some of those moves.
Yeah, and you can already see in terms of the bot lane setup, DRX have a lot less control than they had before. Levi should be able to secure this Scuttle Crab as well.
Yep.
Pyoshik now on the same side of the map. The question is, what will happen in mid lane? It tells me Zekida has a push. Good stun comes out the bot side.
VA at half HP. Deft under a little pressure now, but Styles going to have to be careful. Cleanses away the Ignite. Beryl fires off some rockets. It's GAM left with lower health bars here as the dust settles.
I mean, it's kind of Armageddon in the bot lane. Everyone's so low. Levi, oh, he's not going to be spotted. The turret has such low vision range.
The turret can't see.
They don't know he's there.
Levi is ready to go. Deft wants to fire back. He flashes in, but Levi's ready to go. It's first blood of the style in style, but Pyoshik makes his way into the bottom lane now. Levi will protect his duo, and it's GAM Esports up 1.
Man, that tower gave them kind of false sense of security. The vision range on it was so small that he just walks right past it, gets in behind him, right as Deft is flashing forward to try to get that 2v2 kill. Surprise, Levi is there.
Wow, GAM really catching DRX off guard, and already I feel like this Syndra showcasing slightly more than the Nasus could last game with that potential gank setup. And you already highlighted, Azael, the fact that this turret gave them that false sense of security, not offering that vision. The ward was already placed earlier. Levi cleared it out with the sweeper. The flash in from BA doesn't quite land the stun, and Def see this window where he has to make the play, because the moment that the Levi flag comes in, he's like, I'm in danger, I have to commit, and he ends up falling short.
Well, it's so interesting, right? Because I wonder, like, did he even kind of internalize that Jarvan was there yet, right? Because he sidesteps this scatter, he sees the flash is used, he's like, ability on cooldown, maybe we can get a 2v2 kill. Because the flag comes over the wall right about that same time. It's that close timing where I wonder if he even realized, because he could have just flashed backwards and potentially, you know, gotten out of there. So it is a really, really tight timing on that play.
We have consistently seen from GAM today a hyper-aggressive early game. They've typically been known for their team fighting, but they're looking for more aggression. They're attacking this bot lane. And the thing is, okay, this gank doesn't quite work out, but it alleviates pressure. It stops this bot lane from consistently pushing out that wave, because the bot lane is now in danger.
Oh, Katie, this is not good. Zek has eaten a whole hearty breakfast there. The egg has been popped. And that means that Katie is now a target. And Nivea can be such a problem when the passive is ready. It can make it so you don't want to commit too many resources just to not get a kill anyway. But now that that's down, that puts a big old target right there.
But also good positioning from Katie, you know, got close enough to the tower, knew he didn't actually have to spend the flash or anything there, knew he was going to be able to sit through and just have that passive popping back up.
And now Katie's level 6. So what happens in mid lane? Push and leave.
Yep. Nice, nice, nice for an Anivia. Once you unlock that ultimate, changes the pattern, changes the laning a lot. Still, just that one kill on the board here. You can see the XP coming up on the left side of your screen. It's level 7 for all 4 solo laners. Def, the only non-solo laner to have his ultimate available, so keep your eyes out for those enchanted crystal arrows flying across the map, seeing if any plays are able to be made or even supported with that global power.
Well, and honestly, I would just call Pioshik down to bot lane, and if you bounce the wave here and they're coming out, there's no flash on BA. The style is not going to have flash either, but he will have cleanse soon. So it would be a very easy kill through lane if you can actually get in onto the Syndra and hit him with that crystal arrow at 6.
Alrighty, Zeka will continue clearing out things here in mid. Kiaya versus Kingen here in the top side. So much focus on bottom early on. We haven't really been able to pay much attention towards this top part of the map. Fiora versus Aatrox matchup pretty even right now.
And this is something that Azael and I were talking about backstage, which is how do you deal with the Aatrox problem? Because so far at this tournament, a number of different top laners have tried to showcase answers to the Aatrox, and the most successful one has been Fiora. However, that's only been in the hands of some of the best top laners in the world. In the hands of Zeus, in the hands of Breed. When you see these matchups, you need to understand the dynamics and you need to be able to build advantages. And we'll see if GAM can find that advantage right now.
Okay, Kingen, 1 versus 3. He's got to stand his ground. World Ender comes out, flashing away, dashing away, trying to fight back if he can. And the enchanted crystal arrow from all the way back home. Kingen will live and GAM will fall. A double kill back over to the Aatrox, and DRX does it.
Oh, the attempted dive from GAM, but the door is closed by Def. Cross-map arrow bails out Kingen, and he turns around the play. All 3 members fall. What a huge moment for DRX.
On a second, BA?
BA flashing away from those turrets there. The burn won't be enough to kill him on its own. But I said it, boys. I said you gotta look out for the arrows flying across to affect these other lanes. And sure enough, Deft hits the mark.
And I will say that the Aatrox problem is now an Aatrox problem. The man, he played this extremely well too. Notice when the flash comes out to dodge the initial engage from Levi, then he's gonna sidestep the Anivia Q as well, and the arrow is coming up from downtown as well, while Kingen has tower aggro and is still underneath the tower. That very likely should have been a kill. He gets the heal back from his passive, then he also gets the additional health from his runes, and he's able to turn it around and secure that final kill. Double kill for Kingen. Beautifully played for the whole DRX roster.
And you can even see the communication there. Kingen was actually kiting towards the right side, and the arrow's coming right along that left side. As it's about to arrive, he actually kites back against the wall, which pulls them into the line of that arrow, making sure that it would land. Really smart stuff there from Kingen. You know, positioning perfectly in the arrow from base there from Def, making all the difference. And now it is GAM again on the Dragon, but DRX are coming in from all sides.
Okay, Levi's already got the objective. Pioshik has to get back out. Scatter the weak, won't scatter anyone other than a turret, but Zeka's made his way into the fight. There's the Cataclysm. Zeka trying to stay alive here in the pit, but he's 1v3, and Levi's got the kill. One's gonna come back, and we're trading 1-for-1 equal so far. The fight continues. Viego looks for the reset, but a double kill back over to Levi. Now Deft will try to kite this one out. They got turrets, they got bullets, they got everything they need, and GAM is trying to find the solution, and they found it. Barrel's on the run, and Levi's on the hunt. Katie's right behind him to provide the damage. The stun flies out, but the flash is true. Katie, gotta be careful on this. The turret gets dropped. Katie barely walking past it.
And when it looks like disaster has struck and GAM have no other options, they just find another fight again. Beautiful 4 versus 4 at the Dragon. GAM equalized the kills once more.
You just gotta love the play style here from GAM. If you're behind, the best way to come back, fight. If you're ahead, the best way to increase your lead, fight. If you're even, best way to get a lead, it's fighting, baby. And GAM are going right back at it again. Pioshik went over the wall, trying to get the steal, couldn't quite find it. But DRX decide they can still go for this fight here, and Zeka goes in from the side, but there's not really that much follow-up as Pioshik wasn't in range, I think, for the Kalista ultimate until just now. And as he comes in, it's a great collapse from GAM, bursting out the mid laner.
And you think the window with which Pioshik is able to change is enough for them to be able to win the fight, but a great flash from Katie to escape the reset opportunity from the Viego was enough to get that kill, and then the moment that Katie rejoins the fight, they have the numbers advantage, and they're able to get that pick onto Deft. A much-needed set of kills in order to keep GAM in this game.
Look at the health bars, just so low there. Now Kingen, nice sidestep on the parry. That was critical, but Levi's gonna look.
Levi's still trying to get the sidestep back. Kingen is so clean up here.
Oh my god, the early tier 2 boots, and BA on the bot side is just gone. Was that an Ashe arrow, perhaps? It looks like it was just fired off recently, so I'm gonna assume that was an Ashe ulti catching him out there. That is definitely a dangerous part about Syndra in general. You are pretty low mobility, you are pretty squishy, and Syndra's support even more so.
And of course, the second that Flowers is on the desk, they decide that violence is the only way for the game to be able to play out.
It's a PvP game, Bettius. We need some of that action here, and this game is delivering 9 kills in 12 minutes. It's resulted in a 1,500 gold lead for DRX, but it's GAM who have the first Drake. It's GAM who are unafraid, like you were talking about, Isaac, to keep fighting, keep scrapping, no matter the game state.
Absolutely. My big concern, though, for GAM is you haven't drafted full team fight, right? You've drafted this side lane pick in the Fiora that I think is going to have some trouble actually joining in the 5v5. So let's see it again. I'm assuming it wasn't Ashe arrow catching him out. It was no flash available. Just nicely aimed there from Deft. The CC chain is layered over top. The grenade is guaranteed. Towers are dropped in. And you can see that engaged combo there coming through from Deft and Barrel.
Yeah, the bot lane from DRX is incredibly lethal, but Levi is on the map again. 60 CS, 12.5 minutes in, it doesn't matter. He only has blood in his eyes, and he's looking to find more.
And there's no flash on Deft or Barrel, so there is potential to get aggressive, but they know he's there now because he actually dropped the pink ward in the brush, and they saw the support and the AD outside. So Zeka and Pioshik on their way.
That means DRX wants the counter punch, and here we go. GAM's gonna start it off looking for Barrel. They'll get the kill, but now, how can they deal with the rest? Levi's gonna be the focus here at the start as Style gets away with the Cataclysm versus Cataclysm combat. Zeka kills the AD carry, and Deft takes down the jungler. DRX win it 2-1.
I respect the confidence from GAM to force that fight when they know DRX are on their way down towards the bot lane, but they only end up getting a single kill. DRX walk away with 2, and they continue to extend the gold lead.
Yeah, they're looking good, and Barrel, does go down, but a good job to actually set this up. You'll watch him coming in from the river. You can see on the mini-map, they are heading down, but they're actually playing around that one ward, and they don't show until Barrel steps forward. So I do give Barrel the credit that this is a bit of a bait, that he is willing to give his life up there. They knew that J4 was in the side brush. He goes forward, gets GAM to commit, as Zeka and Pioshik hadn't shown on that pink ward until they had already engaged. They collapse, they get more than they lost. I think it's a smart play, and it's a good death for Barrel.
Good death. That's a very EU saying. I'm proud of you, Azal.
There we go. There we go, baby.
I've used it a lot. I do it in my games. I'm making space. It was a good death. Trust me, guys.
Exactly.
My team doesn't usually go for it.
Creating a little space. That's what it's all about. But the plates have now fallen. We can see both teams getting a few plates here and there on either side, but it was DRX coming away with more. Still 7-5, still about a 2,000 gold lead here for DRX, but the next Drake is spawning now.
Exactly that, Flowers. Keep your eyes on the teleports of both top laners because Kingen has already made his way from top into mid. Kiaya is looking for that level 11. In fact, going to go back to base, spend that gold. Looks to join the fray for the time being. He will TP into the mid lane now. It's DRX that have control over the river.
Oh no! Kingen just got to experience the Anivia with Everfrost melee experience, and it's not fun.
And now, no ulti.
No.
Yes, he can base in TP, but like, do they even want to fight for it? Because no ult on Aatrox is actually a massive difference with your combat power. I don't think it's worth DRX scrapping for this.
Oh, Pyosha getting caught here a little bit, but now Styles got to get back away. Volley shot out, just keeping GAM back. They are grouped up as five.
top.
Yep,
DRX, yeah, they're ready to surrender this one. They're just going to put the teleport of the top laner back into the top half of the map, and it's GAM getting the second trade.
I think it's the right call. Kiaya has no TP, neither does Katie, so you're going to get a lot of damage down on this top tower. You're going to deny some minions here as well. DRX wanted to fight it, but without the ult on Aatrox, it's just a different beast when you have that available, and he is really their strongest member right now, so I don't think it would be intelligent to fight without it.
I think DRX also have a very clear window of getting a good cross map
Full
here as
tower.
well. You can see this will be the exchange of towers. And this isn't a safe play for Kiaya to make because if you look at the minimap as well, you'll notice Viego already starting off that Rift Herald as they get the push out in mid, though. More fighting in bot lane.
Oh, BA, he's only at 300 HP. They can't throw him underneath the turret to try to continue this just yet. He gets himself away. Levi's coming in. They want the kill in a barrel here. Cataclysm in. Should be able to get back out. Levi throws down a flag. Katie's coming in trying to pick up Dev. Forces a flash out of him as well. And it's an overload in the bottom lane from GAM looking to take down this tier 1 turret.
I mean, what was Beryl thinking? He's trying to go for a solo queue play there. He's 1v2, his 80's not even in the pit. He's trying to go for the one-shot on BA. Ends up not only giving up a kill, he gives up the tower, he costs his own flash, he costs Def his flash, who tries to come in and bail him out.
But this is the story being told elsewhere as mid lane. That Herald was taken. We mentioned Pyosha going after that. They use it, they break through mid, they do the damage to the tier 2, and that one's almost gone now as well.
Yeah, props to DRX. They're playing the map incredibly well. Every time that GAM tries to force these fights, it's very easy to get sucked into them, you know? Try and match them, say, you know what, we're better players, we can outplay them, we have the comp, we can deal with this. But DRX is saying, you know what, we'll give it up. Okay, Beryl loses life, we lose a bot tower, but what do we get back? 2 towers in the mid lane. They continue to extend this gold lead. 2,500 is now the advantage that they have, and they're very quickly getting to these 2-item spikes, which means that when the next dragon spawns in 3 minutes time, DRX is going to be in a much better position to contest.
And that's always one of the things you gotta focus on, is how many completed items are there. It makes the gold lead feel so much heavier when you're getting the spikes of those passive, those active, those completions. As you can see, GAM in a very dark and scary jungle of DRX, and it's Kingen who's going to be found out. He pops the world in. They're trying to get away, waste as much time of theirs as he can. He's running straight towards an enemy turret.
But look at the map, right? It's the play to mid, right? They're giving up so much. Look at all those members that are actually down there trying to play for bot, but Kingen might even get out.
Kingen's keeping the dream alive as he goes on the miracle run. Now top side, it's Kiaya having to escape in a 1 versus 2.
That's brutal. They just commit so many members down towards bot. 4 members from GAM go down to try to take down Kingen. They lose their tier 2 mid. They're going to lose the tier 2 top as well here. Those are really valuable. BA trying to get up here and see if they can make a counterplay, but there's more DRX members filing up.
It's just very smart play overall from DRX. They're not getting sucked into this team fight that GAM is trying to force. The whole approach from GAM right now is attack the side lanes, look for picks, claw our way back into the game by slowing DRX down as much as possible, but DRX are constantly setting up the map. When Kingen was being attacked in the bot lane, they had mid push and they had top push, which means that whatever lane got attacked, they could cross-map somewhere else. DRX are just recognizing how GAM are trying to play the game and mitigating it as much as possible.
Kingen's Aatrox is flying around this map like Trick 2G Udyr, just laughing at everybody. It's everything except the emote spam as they can't catch him. They waste all their time. DRX has built a 4,000 gold lead with this map play, with this macro play, and now we're at a very interesting point with Baron being a minute away and the next Dragon only being a little bit more.
And it becomes so problematic because Kingan actually almost has gold, you know, for his next item, very likely a Death Dance. And Kiaya, you know, if you can't actually win inside, you're just locked into your tower as this Fiora, you're not getting pressure on the map. You're going to be worse when you're grouping as well. So I do think it's kind of forcing GAM into this play pattern that they've been in for the last while, where it is just group, try to fight, try to find 5v5, try to make something happen because they have no pressure in sides and they're kind of getting slowly bled out. You can see as far as the vision is concerned, their farthest forward ward is like really that, and I guess they have one lane ward, but they've got nothing.
And you can see now DRX once again setting up for the next objective. They're keeping the Zeka top because he does have his TP available. Kingan just invested his TP bot to make sure that he's on pace with his mid laner, who just forced the mid wave push and have the top lane push as well. Just overall great map movements, ready for the Dragon spawning in about 20 seconds, which they now have control over.
Exactly. They're going to be able to move around this river, sweep out some vision, put down whatever their own resources they need to. And especially when you're playing something like a Heimerdinger, being there first, having control, having the chance to get a jump on somebody goes a long way. But DRX are now going to be the ones having to check into GAM. They backed up, they made sure they were able to clear out some of their own jungles, some of their own waves there in mid, so it's GAM with control over the pit. GAM grouped up as 5, a teleport brings Zeka in.
They're rushing
and
it.
They are ready to challenge. Callista, the Ren. Keep it in mind, it matters so much here for the Drakes, but it resets the ping.
Oh, the
arrow is fired, but it missed. The damage still flies out. The Dragon's going over to GAM. But what about the fight? King gets into the back line here with the World Ender looking for a big Q3, but he's not able to find it just yet. Death goes on a killing spree. The bird is down, but not quite fully. A double kill back over to Death. They are being crushed by DRX, and GAM have only one man standing. A triple kill to the DRX 80 carry.
Deft goes huge, and Bioshic stays alive with the stolen Anivia, utilizing the passive. He's the one that became the egg there on the Viego. Stays alive because of it, and now they're straight over to the Baron. GAM hard committed to the Dragon, but the reset cost them critical time, and then Kingan coming over the wall made him pay.
It was just, it looked good initially for GAM, but it ended in disaster once more. GAM now looking to steal away the Baron. Can Levi make the miracle happen?
Levi getting out there. The Ash arrow shot over the wall to try to lock him down, but it hits Katie instead, who just now used the teleport to try to get in range. But it's DRX after that massive Dragon fight. Yeah, GAM might have got a soul point, but DRX got so much more.
Wow, so let's have a look back at this fight. And the Dragon reset was both a good and a bad thing. The arrow ends up missing largely because of this reset, but you can also see this flank from Kingan on the right-hand side. Immediate access onto the backline, but look at Zeka. He gets forced out incredibly quickly, and you think, okay, maybe this fight is good, but the moment that the health comes back from Kingan, Bioshic steals away the Anivia, and the egg getting procs there means the GAM realize, oh no, we can't win this fight. There is no threat onto Deft in the backline.
It is too funny, man, that you get the passive when you actually take the
I didn't even know you could do
there.
that.
Yeah, you get the passive. Look at him having a laugh. I mean, they know it is actually hilarious. Saved by the Anivia passive. Nobody knows that because this champion hasn't been seen in 12 years, so.
Yeah, Anivia's not exactly one of those meta picks, but this time around, man, 1, 2, and 2 hasn't played out well enough for GAM so far in this game. They're 8,000 gold down. I feel like their only shot left here would be if they'd be able to find that Hextech soul somehow here in 3 minutes.
I mean, they do a pretty good wave clear with the Anivia. You know, throw back to the old days when Anivia was super popular. You could delay a lot of these games out, but it is going to be difficult for them to do it because Anivia is really their only good wave clear. And look at Kiaya tanking that ult rocket there from Barrel. Just chunks him down incredibly low.
I've just been so impressed with how DRX have come in prepared this week. They realized how big of a pick Callista was for so many of the other teams, and to have Ashe as an answer ready with the Heimerdinger paired alongside it has done so much for DRX's early game, and now they have so much control over the map. They did the same thing against Rogue, they're looking to do the same thing here, and with a win, DRX are still in the fight for first of this group.
And they're continuing to choke GAM out of the map. That tier 2 turret in mid already gone. That was a while ago. Thanks to that Rift Herald play that we talked about back when it happened. The pressure being maintained here in the bottom lane. You can see Kiaya just trying to be a Fiora that's behind in the game, farming up in top side. There's not a whole lot else for him to do. DRX continue to move forward, trying to take these turrets. Anivia is such a brick wall to get through in these situations. Katie's under pressure. Levi has to get back away, and Katie with the defensive flash stays alive. But the turret will no longer be defended. 30 seconds still to go here with the Baron.
Still, pretty good job. They actually delayed a lot. They're not even going to lose an inhibitor tower here. They're going to get the TP out of King and actually defend the tier 1. Style was holding it down in mid lane, so yes, the tier 2 bot will fall down. But GAM do pretty effectively stall out this Baron with the Anivia here and buy themselves at least a little bit more time.
All right, so with that time, that 70 seconds of time, I gotta ask you guys, Vedius, how do GAM secure this soul? What's the sauce? What's the recipe here?
Okay, have you ever made spaghetti?
Yeah.
Have you ever then thrown it at a wall?
Yeah.
Well, that's what GAM needs to do.
They need to throw it all at the wall.
They need to throw it all at the wall.
Throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
Exactly that. I mean, like, DRX, while they've been good at setting up position around this objective, Levi gonna get out of that sticky situation. The problem is that DRX, good flash from Levi.
Okay.
He will be able to sidestep that one. 30 seconds now are all GAM have in order to go and contest. And the thing is, you might argue, surely they can just stall. The problem is, I would argue that from a scaling perspective, things are only going to get better from DRX. And GAM's best window and opportunity is probably to fight this next dragon. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them go and fight for it. The ideal opportunity would for Stahl to get his last item. He can get it before the fight, but I don't think he's going to have enough time.
It's just so hard to get in. They're going to try to play through mid, but Zeka here is zoning on the side. Deft is there. Doesn't have his ultimate just yet, but the ulti grenade!
Oh, the bounce stuns too! Levi's gonna find himself alone in the back, while Kingen pushes forward with Zeka in the stasis right next to him. Levi's gonna be killed off first, and Deft continues his domination. They're traded back 1-for-1. Zeka's taken out. Deft still able to free fire, but Katie's doing a good job zoning him away. It's 1-for-1, 4v4, and the fight stops.
Critically though, Levi is down and Kyoshik is still alive here, so they can go over towards this dragon. That is a TP back in from Kiaya, it looks like though. Katie coming as well. They're actually going to double TP back in. They want to try to see if they can get something done, but Kiaya face checking.
Oh, Kiaya! Kiaya, what are you doing? Walking into the brush like that. He'll try to get back away, back to safety, but he's only going back to the fountain. Piyoshik gets the kill.
The face check results in his face meeting the floor. GAM are going to be sent back to base, and DRX are in a prime position to secure this Drake and delay that soul. They've now extended their gold lead to about 9,000, but I was going to say, prior to that pick, I've been so impressed with how GAM are keeping these fights surprisingly close. Even though they're at such a massive disadvantage, there always seem like windows in these fights where GAM can very much win.
Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of it is about their positioning, right? They're cutting back into this corridor here, which is going to be pretty difficult to enter. So even though they get that double stun, you're having to walk through Anivia in this area. It becomes very, very difficult. Everyone is getting locked up into that Anivia ulti, trying to walk through the wall, really clogging things up and making it difficult to get to the carries.
And you can see how dangerous of a position Deft was in there, locked in the Jarvan ultimate, in the Anivia ultimate as well. Unfortunately, there was no real other additional threat onto that backline, which meant that Deft didn't even have to burn a summoner spell in that last exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Katie could actually get to something like a real third damage item, if you could somehow delay the game, get towards a death cap or whatever, they have a real chance, but that is so far off.
Yeah.
And he is working on a Morello right now. So yes, of course, this is a super, super long shot, but I do think compositionally, GAM can win these fights, right? I do think it's very difficult to actually get through the Jarvan, get through everything and get in onto some of these carries in the back line. So maybe the miracle fight can happen, and they do still have a while if they can delay.
Okay, GAM. Kiaya in trouble again. Riposts the Infernal Chains, but that's the entire enemy team. Kiaya can't get out, and DRX kill the enemy top laner. Baron has got to be the call.
A bittersweet situation for GAM to find themselves in. They've made these fights look very competitive, and now they're a man down. DRX are not going to give them a window to come and contest this, and it looks like GAM are going to concede it. But this is Levi that we're talking about. Is he going to face check?
Levi walks up, but he walks right back out. The Baron at about 1/3 HP. GAM cannot get their jungler in there in time, so Baron will be secured again by DRX.
Yeah, DRX moving further and further ahead now. Good 11,000 gold in the lead at this point with the Baron buff again. No outer towers here left to take. I do think they're going to have to play through multiple lanes because Anivia, I still think, can stuff the Baron push unless you're willing to actually try to dive, which is very dangerous. But that being said, they've just really struggled to get Kiaya involved in the game in any sort of a positive way, right? He really hasn't had any side lane pressure. He hasn't been effective when he's grouped. He's getting picked off a lot. This Fiora really just has been the kind of key vulnerability here on GAM. The four-man squad are doing all right, but they need to find some way to get Fiora involved in this game.
They certainly do. Right now, she can't really offer anything in the side lane. She can't really offer much value in the team fight. We'll see what GAM can do to turn things around. Their only bright spark right now is that there is a soul at their disposal. Obviously not going to be spawning for another 2 minutes, but if they can secure it, there's a world in which the comeback can be real. But DRX seem to have such a firm grip on this game. They're looking to join their LCK brothers in terms of the group stage performance.
And on that 2-minute timer, the thing about it is, it lines up so closely with the Baron buff. It means that DRX will be able to use this Baron to control the map up until that point. Deft hits an arrow. Katie, all right.
But just look at how well-timed these waves are. All 3 waves crashed at the same time there from DRX. So manipulating the waves, making sure that they're all landing around that same time was very nice. But GAM push forward in mid, they clear that out. Right now on top though, there's no Anivia there to actually stall this out. So they're getting pushed on multiple sides here. Katie cannot be anywhere. He can't answer every wave at the same time, and no one else can really wave clear but this Anivia.
Yep, you've only got one Anivia on the team. Everybody else can't do it. And now that Def up here in the top lane, he's got the ability to zone a lot of the other players on GAM away. Meanwhile, you still have Kiaya trying to defend bottom, Katie trying to defend middle. It is a 3-pronged attack from DRX, and the attack will miss its arrow here in the top lane, but the volleys are still flying out. Beryl goes for the stun. They try to use the wall and catch Beryl out, but he flashes away to safety. Now Katie's under pressure. If you kill Katie, you win the game. As DRX takes out the first inhib in the top lane. Second inhibitor turret, down in the mid lane. Third inhibitor turret down in the bottom lane. Mid lane inhibitor's about to fall. If they take all of these out all at the same time, they are perfectly synced up. GAM's coming out. Levi's going in. Beryl in some trouble, stuck here with the Cataclysm as Kingen has to get himself away now. Kiaya is going to be taken very low and finally killed. Death goes godlike, and DRX go in for more. That's 4 down. Katie's the only one alive, but the Everfrost seals his fate, and DRX will earn their place in the quarterfinals.
A phenomenal performance from DRX. Back-to-back games with the Ashe and Heimerdinger bot lane, and this bot lane continues to look dominant along with the rest of their team. They've earned their place in the quarterfinals. They have looked very strong in this group, and DRX are a team that many people underestimated, but now a team worth fearing.
Absolutely, and now they move into a tie here at the top of the group with Rogue. Yeah. And this group will be decided these next couple games here. If both teams are able to be top, they'd be tied at 5-1. It would be a tiebreaker there. If both teams lose the top, then it's 4-2, tiebreaker there. So the only situation in which this will be decided without a tiebreaker would be one of them wins, one of them loses to really separate themselves out. But it's been an impressive week 2 here thus far from DRX, bringing out some real creativity. The Heimer Ashe showcasing